The Alleghany Journal has found Stephen Hill, and we're here at the Family Life Center at the First Christian Church, and this event was supposed to happen at the Jackson River Sports Complex. Mr. Hill is a motivational speaker, and he has quite a story to tell. And Stephen, you're going to be speaking to what we thought was going to be a very, very small crowd, but there's a big group of people in there. And you've got quite a story. Can you give us a synopsis of what you want to tell these young people?
Sure. So thank you for allowing me to speak tonight. My name is Stephen Hill. I'm the founder of Speaks Sobriety, author of A Journey to Recovery, and I've been in recovery for just over 8 years. And for the past 5 years, I've been going around to middle schools, high schools, and colleges and different community events like this one, sharing my story. And I do it for several reasons. I think first and foremost, I try and knock down some of the stigma attached to addiction and mental health. I do it so people can understand how the choices they make today will affect them and those around them for the rest of their lives. I do it for understanding, being more understanding of people who are suffering. I do it to give people hope. You'll hear in my story how hopeless I really was and that I was able to come out of it, and I do it for the second chance. I was given a
It must have been quite a journey. First, a personal journey, but it's also a journey to continue realizing what the situation was years ago and to pass this message on to not just a few, but hundreds and hundreds of others who may benefit from it.
Absolutely. So over the past 5 years, I've had the opportunity to speak for close to 250 different drug-free community coalitions and school districts. And when people see me sometimes, they don't think, especially today, they don't think that I'm going to have this story. Right? I always ask, what does a life of someone suffering from addiction really look like? And it really does affect all different walks of life. I was an athlete. I always played up. I started in 8th grade playing high school sport, and that's really where I was introduced to it, starting with your classic gateway drugs, nicotine, marijuana, alcohol. Eventually moved on to cocaine and Xanax, and then my senior year of high school, we stole a prescription for oxycodone. It was the opioid painkillers that really got me, and that became too expensive. I couldn't get it all the time, and so I turned to heroin. And basically from ages 18 to 24, I was just going into treatment. I was getting arrested. I was coming out, and then just doing it all over again. And it wasn't until I was finally afforded an opportunity to go to a long-term treatment program where I was finally able to get it. I went through so many 28-day programs, just weren't working for me. And I went through this year-long program, and I was actually given an opportunity to work there. And while I was working there, I started speaking at schools as well, and I went back to college. I gained the confidence to finally go back to school, and I went to John Jay College of Criminal Justice. I got my bachelor's in criminal justice, and then I actually went to law school. I went to Brooklyn Law School. I recently passed the bar exam, and I'm going to be a lawyer trying to advocate for change, trying to advocate for getting people treatment instead of getting incarcerated, trying to advocate for especially nonviolent offenders to get their criminal records expunged so it doesn't prevent them from succeeding in life. And it's definitely been quite the ride for me.
Do you remember that unique moment when you started to actually turn your life around? Do you remember that one moment where you said, I'm going to whip this?
Yeah, so it was around month 5 or 6 of being in treatment, and I was going about my day, and it was around lunchtime, and I realized that I woke up this morning and drugs wasn't the first thing on my mind. Every morning I woke up with the same thought process, or at some point it just really consumed my mind, and then I realized around 5 or 6 months sober that I wasn't having those thoughts, and I was feeling better. And I met with my case manager. I told him about it, and he said, this is when recovery is going to really start working for you, so give it your best shot. And even at that point, I still wasn't sure if this was going to work for me, but I started working a program and giving back and just being healthy and doing the right thing, and I stayed with it. And ever since then, good things have been coming into my life. I'm getting married next week. I have a lot of good things that I'm very grateful for.
Well, thanks very much for taking the time to speak with us, and also thanks very much for coming to Covington, Virginia to share these great thoughts and experiences with so many others.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.